Alright guys, so like the title of this video says, today I'm going to be showing you my ultimate practice hack. Now this is more for intermediate to advanced players, it's not really for beginners. So if you're a beginner, you can still watch the video, it's still good to know, but I wouldn't recommend this for beginners. And before we even get into all that kind of stuff, let's first define what practice is. So the whole point of practicing is to challenge yourself and improve your playing. So if your practice session consists of you just noodling around or playing stuff that you can already play, that's not really practicing, that's playing, okay? Because you're not challenging yourself, you're not improving, you're not getting better at playing, you're just playing stuff you can already play. So if I sit around here going, playing, let's say, major scales, I can do that for 6 hours straight. Does that mean I practiced for 6 hours? Not really, I just played for 6 hours because I've been playing something that I already knew how to play. I didn't get better at anything, I didn't learn anything new. So practice, you want to challenge yourself, you want to play things that are hard for you, whether that's a technique or maybe soloing over changes and applying scale theory and stuff that you just learned. But you want it to be difficult, you want it to be frustrating, it's supposed to be hard, okay? You're supposed to be really challenging yourself. So with that being said, let's get into the hack that I use, which makes practice extremely challenging, but it makes playing effortless as a result. So as you guys know, this has recently become one of my main basses. I have it set up just the way I like it. The action is like medium to low action. I got the strings I like on it. It feels great, the neck feels great, it's very comfortable to play. And this is my main gigging bass. So when I gig, when I record, when I'm playing live, this is the main bass that I'm playing now. But guess what? I don't practice on this bass, okay? Because this bass, like I said, it plays effortless for me. The action is perfect, the strings are perfect. It's a very comfortable bass for me to play, so it's not really challenging me technique-wise to get better. So what I do is I actually practice, or I've been practicing lately, on this bass right here. And what I did is I raised the action of this bass really high to a point where it's very difficult and uncomfortable to play. So all of my practicing in the past few months has been done on this bass with really high action. And I've always had a bass like this that I have set up really poorly. And what I mean by really poorly is that the action is usually pretty high, so it's hard to play. It's hard on your left hand, hard on your right hand. It really gives you a workout. And the thing is, when I practice on a bass like this, if I can nail something on this bass, which is very hard to play, when I go to my other bass, it's effortless. It feels like nothing. And the reason for that is because when you're playing a bass with high action like this, it really requires you to play a lot harder. My left hand has to press down a lot harder on the notes. My right hand has to pluck a lot harder. So I'm really working out the muscles in my arm. I'm getting stronger. My finger independence is getting stronger because when you're pressing down hard, it's harder to control each finger independently. And especially with techniques like tapping, for example, if I were to tap on this bass, if I tap lightly, I'm not really getting much of a sound. I have to press really hard to get a sound, and you can see that the muscles in my forearm moving. Like, I'm pressing hard. I'm getting a workout out of this. And in comparison, if I go to my other bass, in order to get a sound out of this by tapping, this is me tapping extremely lightly, not doing much at all. Super easy. And one of the comments that I get on my videos a lot when I'm playing slap and stuff like that is that it looks effortless when I'm playing. And that's because it is, because I practiced on a bass like this, which is a lot harder to play. And when I switch over to the other bass, it is effortless. It's so easy because I was used to playing so hard to get a sound, and in that one, it's like nothing. So, think of it like an athlete, like a runner, for example. So if you're running a mile every single day for, let's say, 6 months, running a mile is nothing to you. It's effortless, right? It's very easy. You've been doing it for 6 months straight every single day. But if you were to run 3 or 4 miles, that's going to be really challenging because you're not used to doing that. You're always stopping at 1 mile. You're not challenging yourself beyond that. So anything beyond that is going to be hard, versus if you take someone who's training for like a marathon, running 3 or 4 miles for them, it's nothing because they're used to running so much more than that. So just think of how much your technique would improve if you were applying those concepts to your bass playing. If you're playing a bass that's really hard and then switching to one that's really easy. You know, and it's not to say that I never practice on that bass. I mean, if I'm getting ready for a gig and I'm running through the set, then yeah, I'll do that on that bass just to get comfortable with that bass, because that's the bass I'm going to be playing on the gig. But I spend most of the time practicing that set on this bass first, because then when I go to that one, it's just completely effortless. So when you're playing live, it's going to feel so easy. You know, a lot of people, they'll practice stuff for a long time, and then when it comes to playing live, they struggle because you get nervous, you get nerves, or just the whole energy is completely different when you're playing live, right, than when you're just sitting in your bedroom practicing. But this helps a lot with that, because it just becomes so much easier to play when you play with something like this. And the action is really high. I mean, if I were to put this thing, like say on the 12th fret right here, like it's high. I can fit this whole thing in there easily. And if I were to do that on the other one, grab the other one here, put it on the 12th fret, I can't really fit it in. Right there, see? That string is in the way. I'd have to push it up and out of there for me to put this in. So the action is really high, significantly higher than this one, and it's very challenging to play. That's very challenging. I mean, I'm getting a workout playing that. That was not easy. I mean, I can feel my left arm, my right arm, and if I go on this bass right after, it's nothing. It's so easy once you master playing something on that bass with high action that's hard to play, and you come to your regular bass that's set up the way you like it. It's amazing how easy and effortless everything becomes. So try it out, see how it works for you. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on this. The whole point is you don't have to buy a really nice bass for it. You want to get a cheap bass. You want something that's difficult to play. So you can get like a cheap $50, $100 bass, have the action high on it, make sure it's hard to play, and that'll be a perfect practice bass for you. And it's going to develop your playing a lot, because if you can sound good on that, you'll sound amazing on anything else, and everything else is going to be so much easier to play. Now, one important thing is if you start feeling any pain on your left or right arm, on your forearm, over here, definitely stop, take a break, make sure you stretch, because it is going to be, if you're not used to playing with a really high action like that, or playing a bass that's that hard to play, you are going to feel the muscles in your forearm because you haven't worked them out that hard before, and you don't want to get injured. So a few stretches that you can do if you start experiencing any pain or tightness in your arm is you can hold your arm straight out in front of you and just pull your hand back like that, and you'll feel a stretch right around here, which is good. And then another one you can do if you're feeling like a pain right here is just hold it in front of you and just pull your hand down like that, and then twist your arm this way, and you'll feel that stretch right around here. And another one I do is I hold my arm on in front of me like this, and I pull my hand back and I twist it a little bit, and you'll feel that stretch right along here. So very important that you guys be careful not to get injured doing this stuff. I've thankfully never had any forearm injuries like carpal tunnel and all that kind of stuff, but I've always been very careful. Whenever I felt something, I stopped, I stretched, I made sure I was warmed up. I didn't just go into something and fight through the pain. You never want to do that because you can injure yourself, and it could take a long time for you to recover if you do injure yourself. So be very careful with that. So that's something that I've been doing for a very long time, and it's helped me a lot with my technique. Like I said before, I had this bass, I had another one, I had a Squier, like really, really cheap bass. You guys have never seen it on videos because it was a practice bass. It didn't sound that good. It wasn't set up that well, so I never used it for videos for that reason, because it really was just a practice bass. That's all it was good for. It was just for developing my technique. And right now I'm using this one. I had to get rid of the Squier because I have too much stuff right now and I have nowhere to store it. So I just took one of the basses that, not to say that I don't gig on this bass, but I haven't been lately because I set it up this way. But if I want to gig on it, I can just, lower the action and gig on it. But right now, I'm very happy with this one, very happy with using this one just for practicing. And that may change in the future, but I always have a bass like that that's uncomfortable for me to play for practicing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that insight. This is something that I've been doing for many years to develop my technique, and may not be for everyone, but it's worked out great for me. And if you're a beginner or intermediate player, or someone who's only been playing by ear and you want to learn the basics like the notes on the fretboard, major minor scales and how to use them, music theory and all that kind of stuff to get you started, make sure you check out my beginner's mastery course by clicking the card on this video or the link in the description box, where I teach you all that kind of stuff so you can really master the basics and get to a point in your playing where you can advance to a more advanced level. So that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys on the next video.